This stone isn't rare. Its value? A total lie. And its journey from the ground to a jewelry box is paved with human suffering. For over 100 years, the diamond industry has been selling a story about love, commitment, and eternal value. But it's a myth. Before you even think about buying another piece of jewelry, you need to see the dark secrets the diamond industry has paid fortunes to keep hidden. This is the real story of how a marketing gimmick was built on a foundation of conflict, corporate greed, and unbelievable deception. What if I told you the whole idea of a diamond engagement ring, a tradition that feels ancient, was actually invented less than a century ago by an ad agency? What if that rock on your finger is probably worth less than half of what you paid for it, and its price was artificially jacked up by one company that controlled 90% of the world's diamonds? This isn't some conspiracy theory. It's one of the most successful and most destructive marketing campaigns in human history. For most of history, diamonds weren't the ultimate symbol of love. Back in the 1930s, they were a dying commodity, seen as a crazy luxury for the super-rich during the Great Depression. Before that, if people even gave engagement rings, they often had other gems like rubies or sapphires. In 1940, only about 10% of first-time brides got a diamond ring. This all changed when a giant diamond cartel, DeBeers, had a big problem. Huge diamond stashes were found in South Africa, which threatened to flood the market and prove the truth. Diamonds aren't that rare. To keep their profits up, DeBeers had to control the supply, and even more importantly, control what you wanted to buy. So, in 1938, they hired an ad agency, N.W. Ayer, to fix their problem. Their job was to link the image of a diamond to romance and forever. They put diamonds on the fingers of Hollywood movie stars, planted stories in magazines about diamond trends, and in 1947, a young copywriter named Francis Garrity wrote 4 words that changed everything. "A diamond is forever." This slogan was pure genius. It perfectly suggested that a diamond, a stone that can't be destroyed, was the only thing that could represent a love that can't be destroyed. But it had a sneakier purpose: to stop you from ever selling it. If your diamond is forever, you don't sell it. This kept a second-hand market from ever really starting, which would have shown the stone's true, lower value and threatened DeBeers' monopoly. To hammer it home, they invented the totally arbitrary 2-month salary rule, guilting men into spending more than they could afford on something with a terrible resale value. The campaign was a massive success. By 1990, 80% of brides in the U.S. got a diamond ring. DeBeers didn't just sell a rock, they literally manufactured a cultural belief out of thin air. For decades, the crazy high price of diamonds had nothing to do with them being rare, but everything to do with artificial scarcity. DeBeers, founded by Cecil Rhodes, systematically took over almost every diamond mine in South Africa, creating a worldwide monopoly. At its peak, the company controlled around 90% of the world's rough diamond production and distribution. They ran a cartel, hoarding diamonds in huge vaults in London and tightly controlling how many were released to the public. This let them set global prices, making sure these fairly common stones were sold as if they were incredibly precious and rare. It was a masterclass in market manipulation. By controlling the supply, they controlled the price, and by controlling the marketing, they controlled your desire. The entire idea of a diamond's value was, and still is, built on this carefully crafted illusion. While DeBeers was busy spinning a romantic fairy tale in the West, the reality of diamond mining was a complete nightmare for people in other parts of the world. The term blood diamond or conflict diamond became famous for a good reason. These are stones mined in war zones and sold to fund violent rebellions, civil wars, and horrible human rights abuses. For decades, the money from illegal diamond trading fueled devastating wars across Africa, especially in Angola, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. These conflicts led to the death and displacement of millions. Warlords and rebel armies forced men, women, and even children to mine in slave-like conditions, using the diamond money to buy weapons and continue their reigns of terror. Thousands were mutilated, tortured, and killed, all for the sparkly gems being marketed as symbols of love in other countries. In response to public outrage, the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme was set up in 2003 to stop the trade of conflict diamonds. The industry will tell you that today, over 99% of diamonds are conflict-free. But critics say this is a dangerously misleading claim. The Kimberley process has a ridiculously narrow definition of a conflict diamond. It only includes diamonds sold by rebel groups to fight a government. It doesn't cover violence, torture, or murder committed by the governments themselves. So, when the Zimbabwean army seized the Marange diamond fields and killed over 200 miners in 2008, the diamonds from those fields could still be certified as conflict-free. The system is full of loopholes, has weak enforcement, and is easy to get around with smuggling, which has led some of its own creators to abandon it. The conflict-free label often means very little, ignoring the widespread human rights abuses, forced labor, and dangerous working conditions that are still a huge problem in the industry today. The deception doesn't stop there. Even though DeBeers' monopoly has weakened, the big players in the industry still manipulate the market. And the environmental cost is insane. Traditional diamond mining leads to massive deforestation, soil erosion, and the destruction of whole ecosystems. For every single carat of diamond mined, up to 250 tons of earth can be moved. But now, the diamond industry is facing a threat it can't buy or control: technology. Lab-grown diamonds are completely changing the game. These aren't fakes or cheap imitations. They are chemically, physically, and visually identical to mined diamonds. You can only tell them apart with highly specialized equipment. They're graded using the same 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carat, and are just as hard. The only real differences: where they come from and how much they cost. Lab-grown diamonds are made in controlled environments, totally free from the human rights abuses and environmental destruction linked to mining. And because their production isn't run by a cartel, they are way more affordable, often costing 80 to 90% less than a mined diamond of the same quality. Of course, the traditional diamond industry is trying to smear them, calling them less special or authentic. But people are catching on. In 2019, lab-grown stones were in only 12% of engagement rings. By 2024, that number shot up to 52%. Younger buyers, who are more and more concerned with ethical sourcing and sustainability, are leading this change. They're choosing bigger, better quality stones without the ethical baggage and the inflated price tag. The story of the diamond isn't about love. It's about masterful deception. It's the story of a common mineral turned into a luxury icon through fake scarcity and brilliant marketing. It's a story where the sparkle you see in a jewelry store is often overshadowed by the blood and misery of the people who dug it out of the ground. Now you know the truth. You know "a diamond is forever" was a marketing slogan designed to control you. You know its value is inflated and its rarity is a lie. And you know that the conflict-free label can hide a world of pain. Whether you choose a lab-grown diamond, a different gemstone, or no gem at all, you can now make a choice with your eyes wide open. You can decide whether to buy into a legacy of exploitation or to embrace a future that's transparent, ethical, and truly beautiful. The myth is shattered. The choice is yours. The power to change this industry isn't with the corporations or governments anymore. It's with you. By sharing this video, you can help pull back the curtain on an industry that has operated in the dark for way too long. Subscribe for more videos that question the world around us. Your awareness is the one thing they can't control.